Hi, my name is Scott from the Economics Tutoring Center, and today we're going to be talking about comparative advantage and gains from trade. Please make sure to check my notation and language use with your professor because it may vary. So we're going to go through an example problem here, and we have two countries, Germany and Korea, and these graphs that I drew represent their production possibility curve. So it tells you what combination of cans and food can Germany produce, and it tells you the same thing for Korea. So for example, if Germany produces 6 units of food, they can produce 8 units of cans. Korea, they can produce 4 units of food and 6 units of cans. And that's just one point along this curve. So I wrote out, here we have more than one. We have 5 points along the curve for each country. So I still have Germany on the left here, Korea on the right. And we might ask ourselves, what is the price of cans and food for both countries? And how you figure that out is you ask yourself, okay, suppose Germany wants to produce more cans. So maybe they want to go from 4 cans to 8 cans. So they want to produce 4 more cans. If they do that, they have to move from here to here. They have to produce 2 units fewer of food. So that tells you that to produce 1 can, they have to give up 2 units of food for every 4 cans. And so the price of 1 can is half a unit of food for Germany. So then, still looking at Germany, if you want to find the price of food, you use the same equation. You can just multiply both sides by 2. So you end up with 1 unit of food, multiplying this by 2, costs them 2 cans by multiplying this by 2. So these are the prices of cans and foods for Germany. Now if we look at Korea, let's say they want to produce more cans. So maybe they want to go from here to here. They're producing 3 more cans, 6 minus 3, but they also have to produce less food. They have to give up some food because they can only produce so much. And they go from 7 to 4, so they're losing 3 units of food. That means for Korea, the price of 1 can is they have to give up 3 units of food for every 3 cans. So this simplifies to the price of 1 can is equal to 1 unit of food, and similarly, the price of 1 unit of food is equal to 1 can. So these are the prices for these countries in terms of the other good. Another question we might want to ask is, who has the comparative advantage of producing cans and producing food? And what that means is if one country can produce cans, for example, at a lower cost than the other country, that country has the comparative advantage in cans. So based on that, we can see here that Germany has the comparative advantage in cans because it only costs them half a unit of food, while it costs Korea 1 unit of food to produce 1 can. And you can sort of see this on the graph, that both countries, if they invest all of their resources into producing food, they can produce 10 units. But Germany, if it invests all of its resources into producing cans, it can produce 20 cans. So you can kind of tell how Germany, it looks like, is sort of more efficient at producing cans. So if Germany has the comparative advantage in producing cans, then it has to be that Korea has the comparative advantage in producing food. And you can see that here. For Germany to produce 1 unit of food, it cost them 2 cans. And for Korea, it only cost them 1 can to produce a unit of food. So it's like Korea has the lower cost for producing food. So to sum that up, we have Germany has the comparative advantage in cans, and Korea has it for food. So then, now suppose these countries want to trade, and it's important to know what prices or what exchange rates are they going to want to trade at. So we know that Germany is more efficient, you could say, at producing cans. They have the comparative advantage. So ideally, they would specialize in producing cans and export those to Korea, while Korea would specialize in producing food and export that to Germany. So they're kind of specializing in what they're good at and then swapping resources to make both countries better off. So a good trade rate is, well, it has, so let's see, if we want to ask ourselves what's the trade rate for 1 unit of food, Germany won't be willing to pay any more than 2 cans because that's what it costs them. And Korea won't be willing to pay, or won't be willing to sell food for less than 1 can because otherwise they would just produce it themselves. So we know the trade rate has to be somewhere in between this. So we're going to pick a number. We're going to say 1 unit of food is 1.5 cans. That's the trade rate we're going with. And I just chose this one because it's in between 1 and 2. You could rearrange this to find the price of cans. It would be 1 can is 2/3 units of food. So we'll write that over here. 1 can costs 2/3 of a unit of food. So that's definitely a viable exchange rate that they could use, and both countries would benefit. So to see how both countries would benefit, and I'm going to clean this up a little so we have a little more room. So I left our exchange rate. We can, like we said before, Germany should specialize in producing cans. So they should produce more cans than food. So I'm going to say Germany's going to produce at this point, and Korea should produce more food than cans. So let's just say they produce here. So you can 10 units of food, 0 cans. So then what could be the possible gains from trade in this scenario? So we have Korea is producing 10 units of food. And I'm going to say that they will trade with Germany and get rid of 6 units of food. So in the end, Korea has 4 units of food. In exchange for that, using this exchange rate or this one, we know that if they sell 1 unit of food, they get 1.5 cans. So if they sell 4 units of food, they get 4 times the exchange rate of 3/2, and that equals 6 cans. So then Korea is going to have Korea Korea has 4 units of food after they trade 6. So they're trading 6 units of food at this exchange rate of 3 halves. 6 times 3 halves will give us 9 cans. So Korea ends up with 4 units of food and 9 cans after trading with Germany. So what about Germany? So they produce 14 cans, and then, like we said over here, they're trading 9 of those cans away to Korea. So 14 minus 9, Germany's left with 5 cans. Then they're producing 3 units of food, and then over here we said Korea is giving 6 units of food to Germany. So we add 6 units of food to that. Germany ends up, after trade, with 5 cans, 9 units of food. So what does that look like on the production possibilities curve? Okay, we have, for Germany, 5 cans, so that's somewhere about here, and 9 units of food, which looks like it's somewhere about here. Germany, you can see, after trading with Korea, they end up outside of their production possibilities curve. So by trading, they end up with more than they could have produced by themselves. And then it looks like the same thing happened for Korea. After trading, they had 4 units of food, which is right here, and 9 cans, so they're all the way up here for cans, and they also ended up outside of their production possibilities curve. So you can see that both countries, by specializing in the good that they had the comparative advantage in, both countries benefit from specializing and trading. So that's all we have today about comparative advantage. I hope it helped.